Hello GloveGossip, and today we've got a special one for you. We've got current British and Commonwealth featherweight champion, Mr. Zak Miller. Pleasure to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you, mate. Yeah, it's good to be down.
Good to have you, mate.
Nice one, thank you.
Yeah. As I like to do, just go back to how you actually got involved in boxing from the very start.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Rimmer opened up a gym in my wage gym near me called Ultimate Fitness. I was only young, I was about 8 years old. My mum's knew Bobby from years and years ago, you know.
Legend Bobby. Yeah.
And then he said, yeah, you can come down. He opened up a bit of amateur class, and I was in there. I was in there for about 2 years, and he was more with the pros. You know, we had Brian Rose at the time.
Yeah.
So I went to Ashton Albion ABC when I was 11, and then that was it ever since. Yeah, I had about 50 odd fights for them.
Yeah.
And then went to Ian Harrison at Drawston for my senior career. But yeah, it was good.
Good. So how old was you when you had your first amateur fight?
11.
11, yeah.
I went. Where did I go? Yeah, it was the minors. Went in the minors first year. They had the minors. Ended up winning it. Went up to New Biggin by Sea up in Scotch Corner, miles away. I remember it, and yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. You just fell in love with it straight away then, yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't mind. I got hammered on my first fight. Other than that, it was alright.
Yeah, just enjoyed it. Yeah. So then you went obviously your amateur career. I remember I seen when you fought Youssef Saeed from Bridgewater. I remember watching that fight, and it was it was a really good fight. One of the fights that just kind of stands out as watching amateur fights now, because I thought when I was watching it, it was a really cracking fight that, and you obviously you got the nod, which was quite a close fight as well.
I remember from being a kid, you know, you sort of around all the same sort of people, you know. It used to be at Gorton at Cedarmount School. The championships have been there for years, and you just go down even if you weren't fighting, because your mate would be fighting. You'd be fighting that kid the week after or the day after, and it was like a big community down there. But no, it was good. The amateur career was good. Yeah,
it's always good to be about, like say, you see the same faces, and then after time you just go down with the lads for a buzz anyway, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously that kind of grows your love for the boxing as well.
Yeah, you're in there, you're just messing about, robbing the tuck shop. You're just up to all sorts, but no, it was good times, mate. And like I say, the amateur career was good.
Yeah. So what I obviously took from when I seen you fight was like you was more suited for the professional game anyway. Yeah. I thought that anyway, because I thought, and then when you switched over, I seen you fighting Kieran Farrell's in Bolton when Amy Taylor was the main event, and you fought Jamie Quinn. Yeah. And Jamie Quinn, like I said, we've said before, he's been around the game a long time.
He has. He's better than what he lets on, Jamie. And I turned pro with Steve Mailer in 2019, and I still had a bit of the amateur style. I've always been very fit on my toes, but when I looked at my style as an amateur, I looked at Terry Flanagan and the way Steve had coached him. He was fast paced, threw a lot of shots, he was on his toes, it was all about the footwork, and that's what I liked about it, you know. When I asked Steve, and I was privileged when he said that he'd take me on. Yeah,
well, I think Terry's one of the most underrated British boxers that we've ever had, because I don't think he gets a lot of the credit for how good he actually was, Terry, as well.
No. So I don't think anyone defended the world title as many times as him as well at the time, stuff like that. He was a quality fighter, and just privileged to have been in the gym for his last couple of years. And just seeing, I probably didn't see the best of Terry. Yeah. But what I did see was, it was phenomenal.
Because I seen Terry from a couple of times as an amateur, and he boxed like from my gym called Lee Gillespie, and he was a cracking fight as well. And I just always kind of followed him on Terry, and I always knew he was going to be good as a pro, and then world champion, and then he just went on levels and levels. You know what I mean? He was brilliant, especially that he's giving you, information and teaching you as well, which is obviously he's going to do you the world of good as well with that as well.
Yeah, no, he has, and I think he's been the guinea pig. I think we're getting the good. He's had all sorts through him, because Steve was his own coach, he was his mate, and then he's come to coaching, he's turned in pro, and Steve's probably experimented with him on certain stuff, and certain stuff worked, he's kept it in with us, and certain stuff hasn't worked, but he's been the guinea pig for the product that we're getting now, do you know what I mean? He's had a lot, he's had a lot.
Good to have around. So you had quite a few obviously professional fights, didn't you? Trying to get obviously up there as well, and then you came across Nathaniel Collins, won it. Yeah, which was a very close fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I think that changed my career that night. I think a couple of fights before I tried to go for a central area against Michael Rambolette, so I pulled out on the morning of the weigh-in. I'd actually made the weight in the gym, and we'd gone to go to the weigh-in, and we found out he pulled out.
Nothing worse, is there?
So we ended up boxing someone who was heavy. We got someone in last minute. I ended up fighting Kevin Marie, the manager. He was good. He still got me on the show, you know. And then I think a couple of months after, we got the fight again for the central area again. This was down at Super Bantam, and he pulled out again. So that sort of got left, and then Nathaniel Collins shout come up, about 7 weeks notice, we got 6 weeks notice, we got it. It was at the MEN, British and Commonwealth title. Yeah. You can't say no, can you?
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you know, you might never ever get that chance again, so you've always got to try and go for it, haven't you?
Yeah.
But from that fight, I would, when I watched it, I always remember there was no loser in that fight because it was so close. And when the fight's that close, it's like, well, you're only going to go upwards because of how good it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously, you end up taking the defeat, and then you just come back and then you're stronger. And I think probably more motivation for you actually losing that fight. And then obviously it just grew as better and better.
Yeah, as I took that fight, I didn't take that fight thinking, oh, it's a good opportunity, it's a fight at the MEN, I'm getting paid alright. Yeah, I'm fighting for the title as well. I didn't take the fight for that. I took the fight because I believed I could beat him.
110%, yeah.
That's why we took that. That's why we trained the way we do. And yeah, we took the fight. It was close. I believed it could have gone my way. He just got it. But no disrespect now we've sparred since, and we're friends, shall I say? Yeah. But no, it was a good night, and I do think that changed my career. If I'd have gone in there and I'd have underperformed, or he'd have beat me easier, it wouldn't be like it is now. I've gone in there and I've shown what I was about. And then straight off that I got the English title fight, and I won that. Yeah, exactly.
Because I just put you on the level, I think, because obviously it was a bit of a show as well at Manchester as well, and you performed such a high level as well. You just definitely did. And obviously, like I said, you just gone leadwards and boundwards upwards then. And then was it after that week when you fought?
I boxed Nathaniel, and then I boxed a kid called Lewis Frimpong.
That was it, yeah, Lewis Frimpong, yeah. He was undefeated 8 fights,
wasn't he? He was undefeated. He was a tough kid, and that was his world title shot that night.
Yeah.
He was 33. If he gets beat, is he old enough to come back? Is he young enough to come back? It was a good fight, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, small, stocky, fit, strong. He just kept coming forward, but we done what we needed to do. We settled down, got to my boxing, and I beat him. But no, that was another good learning fight. Yeah. That's what's led me on to becoming British and Commonwealth champion.
Exactly. I think, like I said, it gives that motivation, even though obviously it's like a loss on the the cards and stuff like that. It wasn't a loss mentally. No. Because like I said, you bounced back from it, and obviously again you went to the levels up. So then you boxed Lewis Frimpong, and it was the Masood fight, wasn't it, after that?
Yeah, I had a takeover fight in November, but we already knew about the Masood fight.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to get in there, shake a bit of the rust off, and then the big one come in, which was great.
It was a cracking fight, that. It was an absolutely brilliant fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just like I said, you had such a good start to the fight. You come out and he didn't have any answer for you, and he kind of grew into the fight as the fight went on.
Yeah.
But then I think the last couple of rounds you just managed to pick him off again and get the W, which was he's brilliant to see as well.
That's it. The camp was grueling. It was all over Christmas, but luckily Jack Rafferty was in the camp with me. We was both fighting on the same show, and both as daft as each other.
Yeah.
It's hard, this, innit? You know what I mean? The camp was hard. Steve was putting us through it, but no, it was mega to go through it just with him as well.
Yeah.
And then I was on first before Jack, and it's like, I can't go back in that changing room. Do you know what I mean? He was not beating me that night. Like I say, I got in there, and I think all the build up as well. He usually gets a bit. He's probably more a bit outspoken a lot of the time.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He'll say things, and he'll put a bit of pressure on him. But I think because he could see with me, basically, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's not working.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, your mind game's not going to work.
Nah, he wasn't working with me, and I think he could see that through the presence of me at the media workout, at the press conferences.
Yeah.
And I don't think he liked it, to be fair. And then on the night, as soon as I got in there was no respect shown to him. Obviously I respect him as a fighter, he was good, and he was knocking everyone out, he beat a lot of good people and that, but I got in there, got on my boxing, and he was getting frustrated.
It was definitely, definitely.
He was getting frustrated.
I've seen, obviously, we had Mark on as well, obviously, Mark's a good friend of mine, and Mark moved on weights, and I remember watching the fight, I thought, he's pretty good. But then, obviously, Mark gave a lot of weight away for that fight, and do you know what I mean? So I was like, well, let's see what he's like against, an actual featherweight, like yourself, and he couldn't bully you.
No.
Where Mark was small, and he was, he was gassing out as well because of the weight he had to put on, but he couldn't bully you, and I think that's Masood likes to do. He likes to bully that fight, and he just couldn't do it with you. And then that was it, like his game plan went out a bit of the window. He come back into the fight, but it was too little too late then.
Yeah, it's a long time, a 12 round, you had bad rounds, but I think the consistency in that fight for me was good, where I just listened to Steve's instructions. I believe in what he says 100%, and I trust what he says, so I knew if I stick to them instructions on this night, I will beat him.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done, It was like he had a controller that night playing fight night. I was listening to everything he talked to, fighting in the corner.
Yeah.
But when it gets hard, I can get hard, you know what I mean? It's what it is, I was ready to go.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, it's shown as well. Do you know what I mean? That was probably one of the, was probably the biggest fight of your career at the time, and you know, you got the job done.
Yeah, it was a massive fight, and as a kid, you know, I think every British boxer, they want to win that gold belt.
Yeah.
You know, and if that belt's on the line, I was taking that fight. I bet that fight had been offered to numerous different featherweights, and they didn't want to touch him. He's a nightmare. He's a nightmare. Strong. He's been chilling everyone. Yeah, and it got put on the line. Nathaniel vacated the British. He already had the Commonwealth, so it made sense.
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, you might as well pick up as many belts as you can.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Keep getting them.
Exactly.
That's it.
So, Leon Woodstock's next.
He is.
At the Planet Ice, Ultra Ice Rink.
Yeah.
Down the road from me, which is bonus. I can walk to the ice rink.
Nice.
So that's a good one. So preparations all going well.
Yeah, everything's going mega. We knew about the fight for a bit. It was. I think we got the opponent in about 2 weeks ago now. Yeah. There's a couple of names going about. I think it got offered to some people, but yeah, now we've got Leon.
Yeah.
Which I believe it's a good fight for me at my stage in my career. It's a fight that you've got to be switched on, and it gets you. Yeah, you can get up for this fight. It's a big fight, you know. Yeah. Leon's a good name. I think if you know boxing, you know who Leon Woodstock is.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I seen him against Alpha, and I thought, you know, he's a good fighter. And like you just said, then you've got to be switched on for those 12 rounds. Yeah. You know, you have a second off, mate, and you know you're going to maybe get a bit of trouble. Yeah, exactly.
He's a good fighter, and he's not daft. He's been about the game for a long time. He was signed to Frank at one point. Yeah. He was doing well, you know, on all these big shows and that. But yeah, let's see what he's got left.
Yeah. You look in good shape anyway already?
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
Always stay in the gym, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even not, I'm ready to go. If someone give me 6 weeks notice, I'll be in there.
Yeah, living the life, that's what.
Yeah, live the life, that's it. You've got to.
Yeah, of course.
Especially now, you don't know what opportunities are going to come. There could be a 250 grand fight on the corner. You can offer us something, do you know what I mean?
Well, look at Josh Padley. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? You might get a fight to fight his score or whatever.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Look, he's took them fights. It's not left him any. Made him better. There you go. Same with Ishmael Davis. He's done the same.
Yeah.
It's fucking fantastic. But yeah, I'm on my own path, and it's nice to have the belts and Frank backing me now. So you've got a bit of pulling power.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, you know, it's good to see any boxer do that as well. You know, because when I've spoken to other boxers, and sometimes it doesn't go their way. With you, it's exciting. And it's nice to see that successful side that you've been on them local shows, and then you've been signed by Frank Warren, and you know, sky's the limit at the minute for you.
Yeah, it
which is good.
Them like say small low shows and that people don't see it.
No.
You say, yeah, I'm a professional boxer. They think, oh, he's doing all right.
Yeah, Las Vegas next week. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think.
You know what I mean? I've got. You're paying for opponents. You're paying their hotels. You're paying the flights. You're paying your nutritionists. You're paying your medical. You're not earning a bean.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's bad. You're losing if anything.
Yeah, of course. And that's what people don't see. You know, eyes on the boxing. They see a big fight and they think, oh, he's getting paid millions, but you don't see the ones that are coming up and what they've got to pay out, and you know what I mean, you're struggling to meet, especially, you know, we've got kids as well, you know, and a family to provide for. It's really difficult.
No, it is. It's hard, and especially at the start. But like you say, you're selling tickets. If you can't sell a ticket, you're snooking again.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
and you say I was working as well, so you're juggling work alongside training, and it gets to a point where it's got to stop, and it did, and then luckily my partner Nicola, she's brilliant, you know what I mean? She stepped up, she started paying the bills and everything like that, which is great, and without her now I'd be knackered, but yeah, we're in a good position now, yeah.
There we go. So if it wasn't for Nicola, wouldn't be here.
We'd have been stupid.
Yeah, so shout out to Nicola.
Everyone's played their part, and you know, I've got some good sponsors behind me now. Tour of Security and We Build Recruitment, they enabled me to quit work, and they now
full training camps now.
Full training camps, and I can see the changes since I've done that.
Yeah,
you know what? I've won all my titles now, and let's win some more.
One less thing off your mind, one less focus, and you just focus on the boxing and the training. You don't have to worry about obviously any work or anything. You know what I mean? So again, you've got a clear mind and your clear route you want to take, and you know, like I said, sky's the limit now for you. You can just sit back and focus on that. Yeah,
and I want to give this. I'm giving it 110%, and you know, if I was working, and that would have been doing that. And Steve Maylett, the coach, he's giving it, he's 110%, so it's got to be mutual, and then you get the results.
Of course, you see the results.
Yeah, that's
you know
it.
What I mean, come off behind us there, you know, you can see that, you reap the rewards of obviously what you've done.
100%, mate, yeah. So
what I'm going to ask you now is what does the next 12 months look like for you right now?
It looks like the next 4 weeks at the minute, I'll be honest, that's it. I'm not looking past Leon Woodstock. I need to get in there and do a job on him. You know, Frank's behind me and Jack, he's come local to home, he's headlining Jack, he's got me chief support, and yeah, we're both going to do a job that night, and we're going to look good doing it. So let's get Leon Woodstock out of the way, and then there's going to be some big nights. The featherweight division's stacked.
It is stacked, yeah.
There's not an easy fight in the division. You can't go and pick, oh, you know, I'm going to get a touch next. And there's no easy fights. There's no easy fights at this level. And even super bantam, super feather, you know, between them weights, there's some massive fights to be made.
There's loads.
Really big fights.
There's really loads of fights there, you know,
yeah.
Especially obviously, you have people coming up as well from obviously the other ways, and
yeah.
everyone's moving about as well. So, like you said, there is no easy fight on the path anyway.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're all going to be tough fights. And that's
the easiest one out there is probably that Inoue, you know, that Japanese kid.
I don't know who is he? Is he the one that's got beat last fight or something today?
Calling the monster. Nah, but yeah, there's loads of fights to be made.
Yeah.
But let's just get Leon Woodstock out of the way first.
I love that focus.
Yeah, it's got to be like that. I can't go and say, oh, I'm going to knock him out and then I'm going to go and fight for this and be the world champion by March. And do you know what I mean?
You see so much now, people look past opponents. And the main one I always noticed was when Timofey Lopez boxed Kambosos, and he was already talking the fight next to him, and I was like, I think Kambosos is going to win this, and he ended up doing a job on him.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And you can't go into the gym every day thinking that. I can't go in the gym and just like, I'm going to take it over today because I'm not really bothered about this one. See what happens next. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that. I get whacked round the head. You know. You get walloped.
Keep focused, and that's what it is, and you see him really focus as well, which is it's refreshing to see that as well.
No, you've got to be. It's like it's a 24/7 job. Yeah. I can't just go in the gym, do the gym, and then go home and think, oh, I can do. You can't.
You can't.
You've got to stay away from the fridge. You've got to eat what you're eating. You've got to go to bed early. You've got to have your supplements at the right time. Everything's got to be clockwork.
Yeah,
and that's the way it is. It might sound a bit OCD, but I think with a sport at this level now, it's fine margins, and if you can get that extra 1%. It's massive.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. You've got to take every advantage you can
get. You just fine margins, and if you can get that fine margin a bit more finer than someone else, it makes a difference on fight night.
Oh, of course it does. Like I say, you need to take if you have any advantage over your opponent, you take it 110%.
Yeah,
you've got to do it, if that guarantees you that extra, 30-second burst into a round.
Yeah, that could win you the round, could win you the fight.
Could win the fight, exactly. Do you know what I mean? If it's a close fight, and that's what you got to do. Is boxing, when you come to a high level like yourself now, everything's fine margins.
Nah, it is. Especially to do with nutrition and sleep and rest. Yeah. Your training, everything's got to come into play. It's got to be structured right, and then it just makes everything that little bit easier. Yeah. And if you're doing it, you can walk to that ring on fight night thinking, I've done everything I can here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's have it. It's good.
So it's good as well. Jack Rafferty's fighting on the same show as well. So obviously again, it's probably a bit of a bonus as well having your friend there as well.
Nah, it is. It's good because we're in the gym together. We're in the gym together this morning. He staggers us deep like I was in before Jack. As I'm finishing, Jack will come in.
Yeah.
But now it's great to be in camp together, and it'll be good. Press conferences together. It's mad. We'll look back on this in 30, 40 years time and think, wow, you know what I mean? It was good them times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, another story to tell the grandkids, isn't it?
Nah, it is. Like you say, it is. But no, Jack's looking well. He's got a good fight in Mark Chamberlain.
Yes,
it's a massive fight.
It is.
But I can't see past Jack doing the job on him, if I'm honest with you.
I've seen Jack's last couple of fights, and he's just gone again up levels again, like yourself. Yeah. And I think that's another thing. While I was touching on Jack, because by the looks of it, you both are very switched on, and it's like you both like kind of buzz off each other.
Now we do.
And bring the best out of each other.
Now we do. Like this morning, Jack, I'm getting in the harder rounds in my session. Jack will be there to cheer me on as I'm going, and that I'll be there. I'll wait till Jack's finished. I won't leave the gym until Jack's finished. You know what I mean? I'll stay there with him, which sounds mad, but you need it sometimes.
Yeah, of course you do.
Push each other through, and then you know where each other are up to.
Yeah.
It's good then, because I know sort of what Jack's working on, and when he's sparring and I see it come off, I think, he's working. He's sparring well there.
Yeah.
He's working. He's doing what he needs. Yeah, it's a big fight with Mark Chamberlain. Like that turkey, I'll shake loved him.
He did. Yeah, he was his favourite boxer. He said, didn't he? Yeah. At that point.
People might think, but Padley beat him. Padley's a good fighter.
Padley's a very good fighter, yeah.
And now Mark's big for that weight. Mark's moved up to this weight. He's even big for this weight.
Yeah, he is.
I know this talk about how big Jack is for the weight, but it's a massive fight in that division.
Yeah, it is.
And the winner in this now domestically, they're the best by far.
Yeah.
They're the best by far domestically. Yeah. Obviously you've got your Dalton and your Adam Azim and stuff like that, but Jack Cadwell as well.
Yeah,
they're thinking their fights in the future.
Yeah.
But Jack beats Chamberlain now. He's
up there now.
He's beat a bunch.
Yeah, he's up there. So, like I said, hopefully, you two on a turkey card.
Never know, do you?
Yeah, you don't know, mate. You never know, mate. Get a phone call, you might get scheduled. Listen, sky's the limit, mate. Hopefully, big package of dough for you.
Like I say, not just this fight going through with Jack. It's great. We both went to stay at the same year, 2019, and no one tipped us to do this. the British and Commonwealth champions, you know what I mean? Was hard shit, you know what I mean? We just had the average amateur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Decent record, decent amateur, yeah, can half do a bit, but now Steve's turned us into good fighters.
Yeah, that's what happens. Do you know what I mean? You know, people that don't have like the best amateur careers, and they come into boxing, but then as soon as you turn professional, it's like the button switches.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, I'm on it now. And you see, like, how many, I've seen a few amateurs where you've been, they're not the greatest, but then they'll go in the world title.
Terry Flanagan,
Andy Crawler.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? And Crawler was a half-decent amateur, but you wouldn't have ticked him, done it, and he just went bang.
It's mint, it's great to see, it's mint.
Especially from Manchester as well.
It's good to see because obviously we don't come from like a GB and Olympic background. Do you know what I mean? We wasn't getting
funded and all that stuff, yeah.
Funded, we weren't getting on the big show straight away and all that, and it's just as nice to see normal lads doing good things.
Yeah, of course it is.
It just makes it possible for everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, say, young kids now are thinking, oh, I've got a 50-50 record in this. Don't mean nothing.
Doesn't.
You just got to stick at it and you'll get there.
Yeah, well, I was having a conversation the other day about professional boxing when they take a loss, and, being undefeated is one of the biggest things. I was like, well, it's not.
It's not.
When you see a boxer get beat, but then he comes back, and he ends up winning the world title because that loss is giving more motivation than just beating people, for a padded record. Do you know what I mean? I always think that is, I like to see people come from that adversity, and I always think it always brings out the best. And you see the best, because you can either go one way, you can either get back into the gym the next day, get motivated, get back on it, or you can see someone slump off.
Well, you can look at all the champions, there's very, very few who have been beat.
Yeah.
Even Canelo, he's been beat.
Yeah, exactly. Pacquiao
been beat how many times?
Yeah, exactly. 7 times now.
Don't mean nothing. Like you say, sometimes it might just not be your night.
Yeah.
But as long as you've trained hard enough in the gym and you've gone in there and give it your all, it's just not your night that night. Like me with Nathaniel Collins, it wasn't my night.
Exactly.
Come back in.
Yeah, but you didn't run away, you know what I mean? You got back straight into the gym and was like, that's my motivation. Do you know what I mean? And I think that for young people as well watching, and they might knock up a few losses, it's good to hear this, because I think to myself, you've got to have that motivation. If you want to succeed in this sport, you have to have that motivation.
Yeah, you've just got to persevere with it, and if you dedicate your life to it, and do everything right, you'll get the rewards. That's it. Your mates might be going out and doing this and doing that, but they can't do what you're doing, so there you go.
Exactly. Okay, one more question as well. Okay, so England are going to war with the UK. England are going to war with the USA.
Yeah.
What 5 British boxers are you taking with you?
What 5?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Jack Rafferty.
Yeah.
Tom Rafferty. Yeah. Liam Taylor and Terry Flanagan. The finest 5. That's it.
Can't argue with that, can you? I tell you what, mate, I don't think I've seen anyone answer that question as quick as you did then.
Easy, my boys there.
Mate, sat in USA, you're taking over the whole world with that one, aren't you?
Yeah, no problem.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you today, mate, anyway, so thank you for coming down anyway.
Thank you, mate.